Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the SCSRA YouTube channel, where tonight the Dev Sports Cards NextGen series takes on a whole bunch of laps here at Homestead. Just like last night, our drivers are in round 2 of the round of 8. Tonight is the last chance to get into the championship race. Points, of course, are tight. Tonight we're doing 150 laps with the stage coming at the end of lap 60. Should be a pretty thrilling race. 7 of our 8 playoff drivers are here. Devin Butchno, unfortunately, cannot make it because, well, he's dealing with Hurricane Milton right now. I've been watching all day. It's been a heck of a day out there in Florida for a lot of folks. 120 plus tornado warnings. And now they're dealing with the hurricane. So our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody affected by the storms tonight. And may you guys stay safe. Hopefully you're all in a safe place already. And if you're not, we hope to hear from you on the other side of all this. So just wanted to say that out there real quick. We're keeping of all of you in our thoughts and prayers tonight. Eddie Morris, Ethan Horst, Dalton Gibson, Joe Wright, Travis Bennett, Josh Hall, and Carlton Charles will all be fighting for the last 4 spots to go into the championship race in Phoenix next week for the Dev Sports Cards Next Gen Series. Tonight's race brought to you by ShipFam Racing as well. So we do appreciate your sponsorship, your continued support of the channel and the league. Without you guys, we would be kind of nowhere. Currently, we have a couple drivers out on track. We're watching Joe Wright right now. Whose last lap was a 32.291. That puts him in 3rd place for qualifying at this point. 32.895 is the time to beat. You'll see in the bottom left-hand corner. Again, whoever we're watching is on the bottom there in our head-to-head comparison, and on top will be our leader. Right now, that is, again, Travis Bennett. Ryan Gomes out now, finishing up his 2nd lap, looks like. Sharn Hill puts down a blistering 33.133, puts him in 2nd place. In front of Josh Hall, behind Travis Bennett. Right now, we're watching again Ryan Gomes coming around to finish up his 2nd lap. That's a 33.012, puts him in 2nd place for the start of this race. Sharn Hill. We've got a couple drivers out right now. Let's take a look at Dalton Gibson, the number 17 car. Car's looking fresh tonight. Trying to warm up his tires a little bit before he gets into the 2nd lap. Over to Brad Young, just completed his 1st lap with the 2nd lap with the 33.475. That ties him with Ethan Horst right now for 7th place. Take a look at Dave Wright. Going to be completing his 1st lap this time by. Dalton Gibson out for his 2nd lap right now. Colors of that car kind of remind me of the Heatwave cars, or the Heatwave colors. Those glasses, you know, everyone's wearing. Rounding out his 2nd lap now. Let's see where this puts him. That's going to put him in 6th place. Let's go to Dave Wright. It's going to be finishing up this lap right here. It's going to put Dave Wright in 3rd place with a 33.114. Carlton Charles out there right now. Finished up his 1st lap. Going to be going to start his 2nd here in just a moment. Outside of this, we've only got one driver left, Travis Burton. Carlton Charles, 34.056. That will be 11th place for him towards the end of the field. That was the first lap, though. Let's see what he does for his second lap. Touches the wall coming into 3 and 4 in the middle of 3 and 4. Unfortunately, a 0x will lead to no time for this lap. So a 34.056 will be the best lap we get tonight. Travis Burton out on track right now. Here's another heat wave car. Colors look so good on that. Wait till we get to Travis Bennett's car. Apparently he has a special paint for tonight's race, bringing it back to Grand Theft Auto Vice City. So we'll have to take a look at that when they grid up. This will be the end of Travis Burton's first lap. That's a 33.305. That's good enough for 9th place. Let's see if he can improve on this one. Ooh, gets loose coming off of 2. Doesn't quite keep it off the wall, and that's going to end the qualifying run for Travis Burton. That is our field. They have qualified. We've got a minute and a half left. First place, we have Travis Bennett on the outside row 1. We've got Ryan Gomes in the Cat 55 car. Ryan Gomes is not in the playoff hunt this week, but just like last night, he's here to upset and steal some points for his teammates. Got a couple of them out here tonight. Including Josh Hall. Josh Hall, one of his teammates, he is looking to hunt down those coveted points for this. We're inside row 2, Dave Wright. Outside Sharn Hill. Row 3, Josh Hall and Joe Wright. Row 4. To the inside will be Dalton Gibson. To the outside, Eddie Morris. Inside of row number 5, Travis Burton. To his outside will be Brad Young. Inside of row 6, Ethan Horst. And to his outside will be Carlton Charles. And rounding up the back of the field will be Charles Balance in 13th place tonight. Let's take a look at our points real quick so we kind of have an understanding of what's on the line tonight. Devin Butchino, who is not here again. He's in Florida right now. He had to evacuate. Again, thoughts and prayers out to him. Make sure that everyone is safe there. But he is locked into the championship race by winning last week. Travis Bennett, 17 points behind, but with a 16-point lead over Eddie Morris in 3rd place. Josh Hall, Joe Wright, Dalton Gibson, Carlton Charles, and Ethan Horst round out the bottom 5 of our playoff run right now, and they are separated by what looks like about 9 points between 4th place and Ethan Horst in 6th place or in 8th place in the current lineup. So these drivers, Joe Wright, Dalton Gibson, Carlton Charles, Joe Wright and Dalton Gibson are currently tied, and Carlton's only 1 point behind them. But 2 points separate Josh Hall and Joseph Wright. So Joe's got to have a great race tonight. Make sure that he's at least 3 places in front of Josh Hall. Lead a lap, 0 X's, all kinds of things on there, out there to make sure that he gets as many bonus points as possible. End of the stage will also matter significantly for these drivers tonight. So we will see how everything lines out here. Apologize, was taking a look at something here real quick. Head back over to our screen and head over to Travis Bennett's car. I want to take a look at this paint job here. The throwback to GTA Vice City, as we see on the back left bumper of his car. The mighty good looking paint job there for Midnight Motorsports and Travis Bennett. He's even got the Wave radio channel emblem on the Wave 103. If you're not familiar, that's one of the radio stations in Vice City. Car's looking good, Travis. Like I said, to his outside, you got the Cat 5.5 of Ryan Gomes. Inside, behind Travis Bennett, you have Dave Wright and Sharn Hill. Looks like Sharn Hill may have missed the start of the race. So he's going to go to the back of the pack here as soon as he gets out on track. Up in the top right-hand corner of your screen, we do have a digital flag monitor here, so you'll see when it goes green here in just a moment. This pace car is fixing to make that hard left-hand turn off the track. As we go green, go racing tonight. 160 laps. 150 laps. Travis Bennett out to a great lead. Ooh, we've got some contact already to the back of the field. Josh Hall making his way back down the pack. He's able to collect it, get back out on track. Got some time to make up now for Josh Hall. Travis Bennett currently with a half a second lead over Ryan Gomes. That has changed up to Dave Wright. Battling on the inside here. We've got some great racing going on behind him. Take a look at Dalton Gibson and everyone in front of him. Got Joe Wright right in front of him. Eddie Morris in front of him. Eddie Morris up from 6th place up to 4th place currently. Dave Wright and Ryan Gomes battling it out here for 2nd position. A reminder, any of the drivers that you do see up at the top, looks like an opening bracket before their name in the bar here, they are playoff drivers. You'll also notice on the front of their cars or on the windshields, they do have that green banner as you see here on the top of their windshields. That green banner does signify that they are playoff drivers. The blue banners are our veteran drivers that have been here for more than a season. Eddie Morris now looking to take the 2nd spot from Dave Wright, not let Travis Bennett get too far away from him. This track has been interesting when it comes to drafting and everything else and keeping up with the pack. The outside line is typically the faster line, but in practice we've seen a lot of cars and a lot of drivers having issues with pushing through 3 and 4. I wouldn't be surprised to see if some of these drivers tried to go to the inside line, knowing that it may not always be the fastest. But it's the only way to get around the track. You see Eddie Morris going down to the inside line through 1 and 2 to try to gain some speed, but Dave Wright able to get the run off the corner. Travis not wanting Dave Wright to get that draft coming off the corner, kind of serpentines down the backstretch. We're going to take a look here at Dave Wright taking it to Travis Bennett. Not too far off right now. Travis had a great run through 3 and 4. You saw Dave Wright up on that high line through 3 and 4. Travis Bennett has stuck to the bottom line for this entirety of the race so far. But we see the run that Dave gets off the corner, able to get up to Travis Bennett. Gets the draft, but Dave Wright chooses the top line again, and you're going to see... Actually, looks like Dave took the air off of Travis Bennett's car, off that rear bumper, and he had a huge push through the corner. Forced him up to the top line and lost a lot of speed there. Dave Wright chose just to stay in the middle line here. You see all 3 Neon drivers up on that top row. Dave Wright, Eddie Morris, and Joe Wright. To the outside of Travis Bennett, Dave Wright goes. Eddie Morris looking to take advantage of this pass as well. They've got to be careful on that top line, though. As we saw through practice, a lot of pushing that these drivers are facing through turns 3 and 4. Dave Wright gets his lap lead. Eddie makes the pass cleanly. Has plenty of room down low now. Now Joe Wright looking to take advantage of this. Team Neon looks like they have the strategy they want. Ride that top line as long as they can. Joe Wright able to get the pass done on Travis Bennett, this time through 3 and 4. Beats him to the line. He's going to secure third position. He's got to do it through turns 1 and 2 here, which we've seen Neon be pretty resolute already in passing in that corner. He's going to get the pass done here. Now, I can imagine Eddie, being a playoff driver, wanting to secure that spot in the championship 4, is going to want to get around his teammate here in Dave Wright to at least get that lap led. If I do recall correctly, our stage is going to be at the end of lap 60, and a fuel run is about 45 laps. So we are going to see some green flag pit stops here coming up here pretty shortly. All 3 Team Neon drivers are in the top 3 right now. That's Dave Wright, Eddie Morris, and Joe Wright. You see Eddie Morris trying to get down to the inside to get around Dave Wright, not able to make the pass. Looking to go possibly the inside line. He knows that's not the fastest line. That's how they all just got around Travis Bennett. Doesn't want to make that same mistake, go down there and let the rest of the field by him. Travis Bennett has fallen in behind Team Neon. He's still electing to drive that bottom line. Eddie Morris with a run out of the corner here. Let's see if he takes it this time by. Does not take it. Dave Wright still our leader. Travis Bennett looking to the inside of Joe Wright, coming through turns 1 and 2. Not able to make that pass, is going to fall back in line here. Looks like he stayed right on the quarter panel of Joe Wright that time. That outside line just has such a run off the corners that you can't quite take advantage of between turns 1 and 2. The speed coming off the corner is just so exponentially greater than the inside line. And you can see every time Travis Bennett is trying to take that inside line, he's forced to go back up high on the front and back straightaways because he's just not able to get that pass done. Joe Wright falling off the pace a little bit here. Still within sight, obviously, of Eddie Morris, but Eddie Morris and Dave Wright pulling away currently. We saw last night Eddie Morris's strategy at one point was he kind of messed up the fuel strategy. But then the next strategy was to lead as many laps as he could, able to get that bonus point. Locked himself in by a mere 2 points. Travis Bennett still not able to get the pass done on Joe Wright. Let's head back to Brad Young and Dalton Gibson battling for 6th place right now. And Travis Burton in that heat wave car, number 92, right behind him. Makes it to the outside of Dalton Gibson, right behind Brad Young. This is the battle for 6th place right now between these 3 drivers. Travis Burton makes his position known for Dalton Gibson, who's got nothing left to battle, nothing left to fight him with coming off that corner. Travis Burton looking to go to the inside line of Brad Young, not able to make it, falls back in line. Travis Burton does get the time down to close to 1/10 of a second in the corners, but Brad Young's speed is so much faster than him and cuts it back up to almost 3/10 of a second. We're down to less than 1/10 of a second, able to take the pass through the corner, but as you see, Brad Young coming off the corner just so much faster. This might be it for Travis Burton, though, through 3 and 4, if he's able to make it. He's able to take the short way around the track. Get the pass on Brad Young, but he's able to get that pass secured. Travis Burton to 6th place. Brad Young 7th, and Dalton Gibson remains in 8th place. Dalton Gibson saw the strategy that Travis Burton took. Maybe he's able to copy it this time around. Not able to get to the fender or to the rear quarter panel of Brad Young, and stays behind him. But he saw Travis's strategy. He's trying the same thing this time by. See if he's able to clear Brad Young. Not able to clear him. Brad Young, with that run off the corner, pulls back away from Dalton Gibson. Travis Bennett, talking about the top 3, has made it around Joe Wright at this time in 3rd position. Eddie Moore is still in 2nd place behind his teammate Dave Wright. Joe Wright about a half a second now behind Travis Bennett. Eddie Morris with the fastest lap of the race so far with a 32.888. Eddie Moore is putting the pressure back on his teammate Dave Wright, down to 0.2 of a second. Eddie Morris looking to use the inside line around his teammate here, not able to make it. Dave Wright wiggles off of turn number 2 here, down the backstretch. Able to gather it back up and head back down, straight down the backstretch. Dave Wright staying in that outside lane, not giving Eddie any room to catch him nor make the pass. In the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, our head-to-head comparison from the last lap was a difference of 1,000th. But this fight is allowing Travis Bennett to catch back up. He's down to 0.8 of a second now. Eddie Morris hooks it into turn 3 and 4, touches the wall, keeps on going. Ryan Gomes around Joe Wright now for 5th place. Ryan Gomes trying to make the pass here again. Through turns 1 and 2. Able to make it. We saw these two drivers go head to head last night. Did the crossover, I don't know how many times or how many laps in a row. Every corner we had a different leader between these two drivers. A lot of respect for one another. Joe Wright, though, is definitely playing the long game here. Now it begs the question what they're going to do for the stage. Again, the fuel run is about 45 laps. From what we were seeing in practice, when it comes to the tire wear, it wasn't as significant as we thought. The fall off was definitely there. However, can you make that time up with only taking fuel? That strategy is going to come into play here. You see, there goes Joe Wright to the inside of Ryan Gomes now. Not able to get the pass done. Ryan Gomes is going to get the run off the corner. Joe Wright's just going to have to fall back in line behind Ryan Gomes. Try it again through turns 3 and 4. Joe Wright stays to the outside line. Ryan Gomes to the inside line. But as we know, that outside line has so much momentum coming off the corner. Joe Wright lost about 3 car lengths worth of time there through that corner, running that outside line. So far, what we can tell, the outside through 1 and 2 is faster than the inside line. What we're seeing drivers do is take the outside line through turns 1 and 2 and take the inside line through turns 3 and 4. Dalton Gibson on pit road right now. Josh Hall, Ethan Horst, and Carlton Charles back here racing for 10th place. Looks like Ethan Horst is taking a pit stop this time by. That leaves Carlton Charles and Josh Hall fighting for 10th place between these two drivers. Carlton Charles taps the wall coming off of turn 4. That kills some of his momentum, allows Josh Hall to keep up with them. Ethan Horst on pit lane right now. Dalton Gibson is back out on the track. Here he comes now. Josh Hall not able to make the pass here. Eddie Morris finally able to start. There was so much going on around the track. Eddie Morris finally made it around his teammate Dave Wright, and so has Travis Bennett. That was about 2 laps ago that happened. Ooh, big wiggle out of Travis Bennett. We've got a caution. We're going to have to go back and take a look and see what happened there. It looks like it may have just been a self-spin coming off the corner. You're definitely going to see a pit stop from everybody here, that's for sure. There's our new digital signage up in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Shows that the safety car is out. Wait for our leader, Eddie Morris. Let's wait for our leader, Eddie Morris, to catch up to the field here. And let's go take a look at what happened with Travis Bennett here. Ooh, maybe some contact between Dave Wright and Travis Bennett. Ooh, no contact. Looks like Dave Wright was just close enough to take the air off the rear of that car and just got Travis Bennett loose there. I don't think there was any contact between the two drivers. No contact between Dave Wright and Travis Bennett, and came out from under off of Travis Bennett's rear bumper. Race off pit lane has Eddie Morris out in front. Dave Wright in second. Charles Balance comes out in third. Just listening to the chat here I am running race control while also doing the broadcast tonight, so double duty for me tonight, which is nothing abnormal. But the number 15 car elected not to pit this time by. Understandable, he is a lap down, so when we get 1 to green, he'll get waved around the pace car and get his lap back. As you see here, Ethan Horse is going to get that wave around now. Eddie Morris has elected to take the outside line. Will leave his teammate Dave Wright to the inside. Charles Balance with a blistering pit stop here at 8.4 seconds. Him and Carlton Charles, the only 2 drivers on track that took fuel only. May have been a couple of drivers that only took right-hand side tires. Looks like Dalton Gibson, Ethan Horse may have only taken right side tires. Their pit stops were only 10.7 seconds, but they took those pits before the caution came out. Our pace car is going to be making that hard left-hand turn off the track here momentarily. Go over to our starter cam. Our leader does have choice on when to go whenever they're in the Geico restart zone. You see that on your right-hand side of your inside wall. And our drivers are off. Eddie Morris with a great jump off the line here. Able to pull away from second place pretty predominantly. Now Eddie with new tires is going to be able to take the lead and run away with this. If he can get outside of Dave Wright's draft, he's going to be able to pull away. Head back here to Dave Wright. Looks like we got some contact with the wall here. Ooh, we got another incident in the back with Charles Balance. Collects Ryan Gomes, Charles Balance, Travis Burton, and Josh Hall. Josh Hall did not need to see that in his playoff run. Cautions breed cautions, folks. That is for sure. We're going to wait till our leader catches the pace car here. And we're going to see what happened. Definitely not what some of these drivers wanted to see. Travis Bennett able to take advantage of that. Jumps up from last place on that restart up to 7th place now. Back in the hunt for some bonus points here. Let's take a look at what happened here. They went 3 wide. coming off of turn 4. I don't know if Charles Balance knew that was happening yet. Thought he had the room. Unfortunately, takes out a couple of drivers here. Didn't know what was happening. Unfortunately, just gets everyone gets collected in that. Let's look what happened from Josh Hall. Josh Hall barely gets touched on that front left half of his car. You saw the damage come in and on and off that car real quick. Ryan Gomes takes the most out of this. Ends up going to the inside wall after the contact. Looks like broke his front right tire, just shot him to the inside of the track. Unfortunate for Ryan Gomes. Ryan Gomes did take his fast repair, is back out on the track. Man, not what you wanted to see of some of these drivers. We've got 22 laps to our stage. Cautions do breed cautions. Eddie Morris does elect to take the outside line again for this restart. He's got Dave Wright to his inside again. Joe Wright, his teammate, to behind Eddie Morris. Brad Young to the inside of row number 2. And you could see Travis Bennett lurking back there 4 rows back on the top side. Looking to gain as many points or as many places as he can before the stage caution comes out in about 22 laps. We're going to head over to our starter cam here. Pace car has make that hard left turn off the track. And we're racing. Eddie Moore's not as good of a jump as the rest of his field, or the rest of the field this time by, or on this restart, but a good enough jump to get out in front of Dave Wright. Joe Wright taking advantage of that outside wall as well. Outside line, I should say. We're going to head back to Brad Young, Dalton Gibson, Travis Bennett. Brad Young into the wall through the turn here. Travis Bennett's going to take advantage of this, goes around Brad Young to the inside of Dalton Gibson, not able to make the pass, falls back in line, takes the high side around turns 1 and 2. The preferred line through this turn, the inside line, what we've seen so far shows to be the preferred line through 3 and 4. Eddie Morris out to a 7/10 of a second lead over second place Joe Wright. Joe Wright on the wall through turns 3 and 4. Gets a lot of speed knocked out of his car there. Now we're up to 9/10 of a second, almost a full second lead over Eddie Morris. Travis Bennett to the inside of Dave Wright here, looking to also take over Joe Wright's position as well. Not quite able to make that, but does make the pass on Dave Wright. Elects to stay to the inside through 3 and 4. Dave Wright had that run off of turn 1 and 2 on that outside line, able to maintain that position. Dalton Gibson back towards up to the wall. Now Travis Bennett to the inside of Joseph Wright. Not able to make the pass, makes it back into line for that top line. Eddie Morris loves seeing this battle behind him. The more they're battling behind him, the better. Dave Wright touches the wall. Dalton Gibson to the inside of Dave Wright in that 84 car. Travis Bennett to the outside in turn 3 and 4. Joe Wright looks like he gave it to him through turns 3 and 4. Not sure if that was intentional. Joe Wright not able to get back up to the outside before Travis Bennett's able to make the pass into turn 2 or outside of turn 4. Bro, there's a lot going on the track, guys. I'm getting lost in my turns here. Travis Bennett now up to second place with a 1.4 second gap between him and Eddie Morris. We've got 17 laps to go. And the lap times, let's take a look at what the lap times are this time by. Joe Wright back up into the wall. Taps the wall through 3 and 4. Keeps it straight. Keeps on going. Travis Bennett runs a 32.764 last time by to Eddie's 32.871. So about a 0.11 second difference between second place driver Travis Bennett and our leader Eddie Morris. Dave Wright around his brother Joe Wright for third place. Dalton Gibson lurking here in the background behind Joe Wright. Looks like Brad Young, we were watching, gets a little bit squirrely coming off or going through turns 1 and 2. Opens up that gap between him and Dalton Gibson pretty significantly. Let's head back up to Travis Bennett and Eddie Morris. This gap has remained at 1.2 seconds. You can see almost identical lap times from these two drivers now. Eddie Morris just a little bit faster that time by about 1/10 of a second. Able to maintain that 1.3 second gap over Travis Bennett. He's going to want to do that for the next 14 laps to the stage to get as many points as he can in our stage race. Will 1 point make a difference? Well, in the truck series, 1 point was making it in the playoffs and not. So 1 point does matter. We take a look at our points here again. Travis Bennett is 16 points ahead of Eddie Morris, but Eddie Morris is only 9 points or 8 points ahead of Josh Hall. Josh Hall currently running in 8th place right now. Eddie Morris is still posting the times to beat. Looks like actually Travis Bennett was about 1/10 of a second quicker that time by. With a 32.849 to Eddie's 32.944. That gap still has not changed though. We're sitting at 1.3 seconds, but Travis is now running that inside line through the corners to see if he can make up any time on Eddie Morris. While it works sometimes, it's not currently working. We're getting back to the same gaps before the next corner at 1.3 seconds. Took about 800ths off the lead that time by. Not a whole lot of time though, in the grand scheme of things. We've got 10 laps left, 9 laps left this time by. For our stage, till the stage is over. And I'm not sure Travis Bennett's going to have enough race or enough time here to catch back up. We're going to head back to our 3rd and 4th place drivers, Joe Wright and Dave Wright, both brothers fighting for 3rd place. Joe Wright still in the playoffs. Currently in 5th place, right on the bubble. He's 2 points behind Josh Hall. Now, when we go look at the points, and we go look at the current running order, The way that the stage is going, if it ends right now, Joe Wright would get 7 points in our stage, and Josh Hall would get 3 points. Sorry, 4 points. So there's about a 3 to 4 point gap if I do the math correctly, which, you know, sometimes it's a challenge. Joe Wright would get 8 points, and Josh Hall would get 4 points. That would put Joe Wright 2 points ahead of Josh Hall on the bubble. Dalton Gibson is behind Josh Hall, and so is Ethan Horst and Carlton Charles. So if the stage were to end this lap, Josh Hall would have to end up 2 places ahead of Joe Wright at the end of this race for them to just be tied in points. Now that doesn't factor in laps led, that doesn't factor in 0Xs, none of that. Now at this time, Josh Hall already has 4 Xs due to barely touching the 55 car, so he lost the 3 bonus points for a zero incident race. If Joe Wright can maintain 0 Xs through this race, that puts him 5 points in front of Josh Hall without the finishing order. In order for that to equal out, Joe Wright would have to be in last place with Josh Hall maintaining his 7th position. Josh Hall right now is battling Brad Young for 6th place. Eddie Morris out to a 1.6 second lead over our 2nd place driver, Travis Bennett. Both drivers touch the white line. Looks like Brad Young gets a little bit loose coming off the corner. So does Josh Hall. Brad Young to the inside of Josh Hall. Looks like Josh Hall lost too much speed coming down or going through turns 3 and 4 there. That puts Josh Hall currently down back into 7th position. Looks like him and Brad Young are going to battle it out here for a couple of laps. As we saw, that outside line does have the run coming off the corners if you can maintain the speed. The inside line through turns 1 and 2 is a little bit faster than the outside line, but the inside line through 3 and 4 is definitely slower. Or vice versa. I can't remember. Travis Bennett Eddie Morris out to a 2-second lead over our 2nd place driver, Travis Bennett. Looks like Eddie might be the driver to beat tonight. Not that that's abnormal, but once Eddie Morris got out to the front of the field, he really hasn't looked back. Has currently led 31 of our 58 laps. We're going to get our 1 to go this time by for our stage caution. There's Eddie Morris, and there's Travis Bennett. Then Joe Wright, Dave Wright, Cat 55. I will be right back, folks. All right, folks. And what happened there is somehow the program got a little messed up, and we had that stage a little bit early. So not sure what happened there. It happens though. The drivers will be coming down pit road. Everyone's going to get tires and fuel this time. They did last time too, but they're getting them again. Eddie Morris was our first car in. See if he's able to make it first car out. Barely beats Travis Bennett to the line. But Travis Bennett able to maintain second position. Let's see if we can bring our stage winner down, Eddie Morris. Eddie, this is David in the booth. You got me?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, man, congratulations on the stage win. I know points are extremely important. Not sure what happened with the stage there. Shouldn't have ended then, but, you know, it did. Once you got the lead after that green or that last caution, you kind of just checked out from the rest of the field. How does that make you feel about the rest of the race?
It feels pretty good. Car's definitely feeling pretty good there. So feeling pretty good about the rest of the race. I like this style of track. Get it up next to the wall and just ride it out, and hope you don't get stuck to it. That's pretty much the name of the game here. You try this low line and it's super loose, so I don't know how that is on tires. I've not been brave enough to really run any down there to see. But yeah, man, feeling pretty good about it.
And we do see some drivers like Travis Bennett able to maintain that low line through 3 and 4, which tends to look like it's a little bit faster. Have you noticed anything like that at all from the other drivers, not yourself, but other drivers around you?
No, I've just been trying to run my race and not getting anybody's way and make it to the end here, man. Just log some laps. We still got 88 to go, so
yeah, we still got a while.
It'll be a long one.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your stage run. I'm gonna get you back up to your room.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep. And that was our winner, Eddie Morris, of the stage caution, or the stage. We're gonna be going green next time by. We're gonna get 1 to green at the end of this lap. Eddie Morris is gonna be starting on the outside line with his teammate under him in Joe Wright. Behind him is gonna be Travis Bennett, though, starting in 3rd place on that outside line behind him. You've got to look out for Travis Bennett coming into these corners because he is able to make a good pass. I'm sorry, Travis Bennett will be on the inside line. Dave Wright will be on the outside behind Eddie Morris. You've got to be careful with Travis Bennett, though, going through 3 and 4. He has been able to maintain a faster pace on the inside line. But as we saw, as that run went on for that stage there, Travis Bennett was actually losing time to Eddie Morris staying on that high side. Eddie Morris is probably going to run the same kind of race, but he doesn't want anybody in front of him. He's going to want a clean track to be able to get that gap out in front of everybody else again. Eddie Morris, so far, is going to be the driver to beat when it comes to that long turn or that long run. We are halfway down the back stretch going into turn 3. We will be getting the green next time by, or this time by. The pace car is about to turn left off the track here. And we're going to get started on the last 87 laps of this race. Fuel mileage is going to be important here. With 45 laps, you're going to be cutting it close on fuel. Let's see how these drivers handle this. This should be interesting. Pace car's off. Our drivers are off. Eddie Morris with a great jump off of the green flag here. Travis Bennett able to make it to the outside, but chooses to take the inside line and try to take the fight to Eddie Morris, and it's not quite going to work. Travis Bennett's going to have to fall back in line here behind Eddie Morris. Let's see what he does through here 3 and 4. I imagine Travis Bennett's going to try to stick to that inside line. He definitely is. Dave Wright into the wall through 3 and 4. Travis Bennett's able to get that draft of Eddie Morris. That's going to be super important for him. You saw the flame shooting out of the left-hand side of Travis Bennett's car. He's shifting down into fourth through the corners and up about halfway to 3/4 down each one of the stretch, front and back stretch. Eddie Morris is just going to maintain his composure and stay on that outside line, which, as we've seen so far, can't be beat, but he's got to get away from Travis a little bit to get Travis outside of his draft. Travis is now staying to the outside line behind Eddie Morris. Out to a 0.35 second lead over Travis Bennett. Travis Bennett almost into the wall coming off of turn 4 here. Travis trying to mix it up a little bit, maybe gain some space on Eddie. But coming off that corner, Eddie just takes off. Out to a half a second lead now. Dave Wright able to maintain that gap and stay close. Joe Wright. Travis Bennett into the wall here, allows Dave Wright to catch him. Let's see what Travis does now. With Dave Wright so close to him, he can't take the inside line. Dave Wright will get that run off the corners. Travis may not be entirely comfortable up by the wall, but this is exactly what Eddie wants to see. As long as Travis has someone else to fight, Eddie's going to be able to start pulling away from him. You see Travis sticking to that outside line to make sure that Dave Wright can't get under him. Eddie out to a 0.7 of a second lead over Travis Bennett. Last time by, Eddie was about 0.06 faster. Travis Bennett now to the inside line, but Dave Wright's going to see if he could take advantage of this, get that run off the corner. Travis Bennett gets loose off of turn 2 into the wall, loses a bunch of momentum down the straight. Dave Wright to the inside, makes the pass on Travis Bennett. For second position, he's going to get up in front of Travis. Travis now has to use the inside line to try to get around Dave Wright. Looks like Dave Wright may have touched the corner coming off of 4 as well, which lost him a bunch of speed. Now Travis Bennett's going to take advantage of that. Goes the inside line, gets around Dave Wright. The last 2 laps, these drivers were able to cut this lead down to Eddie Morris by about 0.2 of a second. I'm imagining that has to do with the draft. As long as something Eddie doesn't want to see, these 2 drivers getting any closer to him than they already are. But Travis Bennett is able to get the draft from Eddie Morris and is now going to start closing that gap slowly. But he's also got to watch Dave Wright behind him. Now, we saw these 2 drivers earlier get really close coming off of a corner. I couldn't tell if they made contact. It depends on if there was some net code. We'd have to go into further analysis of that. But we weren't taking the time on the caution to do that. But you saw Dave Wright get really close to Travis Bennett off the corner and took the air off the rear bumper, the rear spoiler of the car, which is possibly what got him loose. Much like they're doing now. It looked like Travis was trying to maintain the car and not get too loose coming off the corner. Dave Wright to the inside makes the pass through the corner on Travis Bennett. Dave Wright's going to slide up the track in front of Travis Bennett. Let's see if we get the crossover and have Travis go down to the inside. Not making it easy for either driver. Travis Bennett decides just to push Dave Wright down the backstretch. Got a great battle going on here for second place. But while these drivers are battling it out, Eddie is checking out to a 1.1 second lead Looks like Travis Bennett was getting, or Dave Wright was getting a little bit loose off the corner there. So the theory's running true. Dave Wright into the wall, Travis Bennett down to the inside. Not able to take advantage of it, but he's going to maintain that draft behind D. Wright. We are officially going to be halfway through the race at the end of this lap. Travis Bennett just deciding to stay behind Dave Wright on that top line. This is the closest battle we have on track right now, is for second place between Dave Wright and Travis Bennett. This is exactly what Eddie wants to see. Let them keep battling it out. The more that they fight, the further Eddie can pull out in front. Now, as we were mentioning about fuel strategy, there was 87 laps to go. Dave Wright back into the wall. Let's see if Travis can take advantage of it here. Not quite there. Maybe down the backstretch if he's able to get some more speed on Dave Wright. Their speeds were pretty similar coming down the backstretch. As we were saying, fuel strategy, there's 87 laps to go at the start of the second stage of this race. We know that a fuel run is about 45 laps. That would make this a one-stop race if it stays green. Everyone has to pit with about 43 to go. 43 to 42 to go. Which means that you can go the second stage on only one stop. Now, if there's any cautions, that's going to throw a loop in it's going to throw a mix into everything here. Dave Wright and Travis Bennett down to a 1.6 second lead. Now it's 1.7 seconds. It's just getting bigger. As Eddie Morris heads down the back stretch, we're down up to a 1.8 second lead over second place Dave Wright. Head to Ryan Gomes, battling it out with Brad Young. Trying to get to the inside. Ryan Gomes, Cat 5.5, looks like it's been through some mud wars. Maybe drove through the beaches of Florida. Been in an incident or two tonight. Able to make the pass, slides up in front of Brad Young. Brad Young to the inside wall. Able to gain composure, gets back on the track to the inside line of Ryan Gomes. Ryan Gomes makes contact with the wall. Same thing with Joe Wright in front of him. Brad Young able to make the pass. And now we're going to see Brad Young and Ryan Gomes do the same thing that Ryan Gomes and Joe Wright did last night. They're going to do the crossover every single corner until one of them finally able to get a good pull off the corner. Ryan Gomes back up into line here. Takes over fifth position behind Joe Wright. Brad Young looks to go to the inside. Ryan Gomes also does the same. Neither one of these drivers is going to get that run off the corner, and that's going to settle that race for now. Not saying forever, but just for now. That's going to settle this portion of it. Dave Wright pulling away from Travis Bennett at this point. There's a 0.3 of a second lead over Travis Bennett. Eddie Morris out to a 1.85 second lead. Looks like Dave Wright's last lap was about 0.2 slower than Eddie's was. At this point in the race, I believe it's mathematically impossible for Travis Bennett to not move on to the championship 4. Was able to secure 8 points, maybe 9 points. It was 9 points for the stage. Plus a lap led. But is not going to be able to get the 3 bonus points for 0 incidents. He does have a 2x right now from that earlier incident. So if the race were to end right now, Travis Bennett would get 48 points if the race were to end right now. If we look at our points, that would put Travis Bennett at over 2,100 points. So it would definitely secure him into the championship 4. Devin Butchino is locked in for the championship race at Phoenix. Eddie Morris not locked in, but Dave Wright gets loose there off of turn 4, as we saw in the background. Travis Bennett then closes that gap. Dave Wright about 0.2 of a second faster that last lap over Eddie Morris, but now Travis Bennett to the outside of Dave Wright for second place. Travis Bennett is going to be mathematically locked into the championship 4, even with the second place victory tonight. Eddie more than likely is also going to be locked in if we finish now. I'm calling it. 4 drivers advancing: Devin Butchino, Travis Bennett, Eddie Morris, and Joe Wright. Josh Hall has to make up a lot of positions to be able to, Joe Wright would have to be 5 places behind Josh Hall at this point for them to be tied. But that also wasn't factoring in the stage points. So, you know, definitely some change there. Now, Travis Bennett does have it down to a 1.3 second lead. He's about 0.2 of a second quicker than Eddie Morris is. That time by is about 0.15 seconds quicker than Eddie Morris. But I'm not sure that Eddie Morris has even really been pushing it at all. I think he's just been driving. I believe Eddie Morris had a little bit of a wiggle there through turns 3 and 4. They did run exactly the same lap time. Looks like Eddie Morris is also kind of pulling the serpentine so that Travis Bennett can't get the draft. Eddie Morris right up against the wall. This is where he normally races, is up against the wall. So this kind of track suits perfectly for him. 33,800 for both drivers that time by. 2 laps in a row, these drivers have both ran the exact same lap time. Oh, I'm watching Eddie, that's why it shows that. So Travis Bennett was 0.12 seconds faster than Eddie Morris in the last lap. Let's see what we're doing for this lap. A little bit slower for Eddie. A little bit slower for Travis as well. Travis is chewing away slowly at that. Ryan Gomes around Dave Wright for 3rd place. Travis Bennett slowly closing that gap to Eddie Morris by about 1/10 of a second per lap. Travis Bennett up into the wall through 3 and 4. Man, the right sides of basically all of these cars have got to be pretty banged up. But even with that, Travis Bennett was 0.2 of a second quicker that time by. Able to close that gap down to 0.7 seconds now. Which means that Travis Bennett is going to get into Eddie Morris's draft. Definitely has been closed significantly down the backstretch. Able to maintain 2 to 3 miles an hour faster than Eddie Morris through turns 3 and 4. But now he's got the draft. Travis has closed this gap in a hurry to Eddie Morris. But I don't think Eddie Morris is going to push this issue too hard. Is going to want just a clean race. He's currently got 45 more laps led than the next leader, which is Dave Wright. If Travis Bennett even runs if Travis Bennett leads the rest of the race, Eddie Morris will still get the bonus point for leading the most laps led. But again, Travis Bennett is locked in mathematically to the playoffs or to the championship race. Ryan Gomes now in the picture as well. Ryan Gomes making some incredible, or having some incredible speed here. Travis Bennett drives around Eddie Morris through 3 and 4. Eddie Morris not going to give up too easily here. He's going to stick to that outside line behind Travis Bennett. We can see the car just pushes into the corner with no air on the front nose of that car. Now Ryan Gomes up to the lead or into second place in front of Eddie Morris. But Ryan Gomes has been running some of the fastest laps right now. Let's see if Ryan Gomes is able to take the lead from Travis Bennett. Ryan Gomes, a little bit of a wiggle coming in out of turn 4, gets up in front of Eddie Morris. Eddie Morris has to take an evasive maneuver, goes to the bottom line, not where he wants to be. He still wants to be up against the wall. Let Ryan Gomes go, save your 0x. Eddie Morris falls in line behind Ryan Gomes. Ryan Gomes looking to the inside again to see if he can get around Travis Bennett for the lead. Not able to quite get there yet. Couple more corners, he might be able to get it. Able to maintain a fantastic pace off the corner here. Ryan Gomes to the lead. Seemingly came out of nowhere. Ryan Gomes, our new leader of the race on lap 98 of this race. Travis Bennett and Eddie Morris sticking to the outside wall. Eddie Morris into the wall through turns 3 and 4. There gets off the wall. Looks like Eddie Morris's tires are cooked. Ryan Gomes now. Ryan Gomes listening to chats here. Ryan Gomes seemingly drives around the top 2 drivers, Travis Bennett and Eddie Morris, for the lead. We've got 50 laps left in this race as of right now. We're going to get 49 laps left as our leader, Ryan Gomes, crosses the line. Eddie Morris looks like his tires are cooked, but our fuel window is going to open up in about 5 laps here. We're going to start seeing these drivers start taking pit road around lap 105 to 107. Currently, Ryan Gomes posting the fastest lap times of the 33.765. $33,790. So he was able to maintain tire wear on that vehicle and has left Travis Bennett chasing. We're watching our current leader, Ryan Gomes, driving away from Travis Bennett out to a 1.3 second lead over second place, Travis Bennett. Joe Wright catching up to his teammate Eddie Morris. Both Joe Wright and Eddie Morris running very similar lap times with a 34.024 for Eddie Morris and a 34.010 for Joe Wright. Joe Wright is closing this gap slowly but surely to Eddie Morris, and this is the battle for fourth place currently. I'm sorry, for third place. Travis Bennett down to a 2-second gap between him and Ryan Gomes. Our pit window is opening in the next lap or two for these drivers. I heard in practice the fuel run is about 45 laps, anywhere from 43 to 45 laps. These drivers have to make it a couple more laps before they can take fuel and get new tires. Ryan Gomes going to drive away from this field to start with. He's got a 2.3 second lead over our second place Travis Bennett. After our pit stops, I imagine he's going to do a lot of the same thing where for 15-20 laps, he's going to just take it easy. We've got a caution. This throws a loop, and this throws it for a loop here from Travis Bennett. We're going to wait till our leader catches the pace car here, and we're going to go back and take a look and see what happened. Our drivers are all going to pit right at the beginning of the pit window. The race is on now. Everyone's going to get bunched back up together. We all know that cautions breed cautions. Let's see what happens. Let's go take a look back at Travis Bennett and see what happened here. Looks like he got loose off the corner. Tries to save it, not able to save it. Yeah, it looks like he just gets loose off of turn 2. Thought he had it saved, not quite. Car snaps back around because he was on the surface. The caution came back out. Now that's going to be interesting. Ryan Gomes is going to take first place. Looks like Brad Young may have stayed out here. He's going to have to pit here soon. He may have just wanted that lap led, but that's not going to make much of a difference for him. He's going to have to pit. And folks, while we're here, I'll be right back. I gotta go talk to one of the admins. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, folks. Had to take care of some stuff here. As we're watching Travis Bennett, unfortunately, with that second incident of the race, he will be, as in the SCSRA, we have an own it system. If you do have 2 incidents that bring out a caution in a single race, you are asked to park for the rest of the evening. So Travis Bennett will end up 12th in the finishing order, but still receive his stage points, I believe. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and look at the rule book, but I believe that's how that would happen. We are watching Ryan Gomes currently out in the lead with Eddie Morris behind him in second place and Dave Wright in third place. Sorry about that, folks. Eddie Morris up to our lead currently. Around Ryan Gomes in the Cat 5.5. A significant gap between Ryan Gomes and Joe Wright. But look who's entered the picture, folks. Josh Hall up to 5th place. Battling with Dave Wright and Joe Wright for that 4th place position. Dave Wright maintaining that middle line around Josh Hall, not able to get the pass on Dave Wright, but looking to make that pass now. Josh Hall not able to make the pass on Dave Wright and actually now losing ground to both Joe Wright and Dave Wright in 3rd and 4th place. Watching Joe Wright here in 3rd place right now, who's catching our 2nd place driver of Ryan Gomes in that Cat 5.5 car. Eddie Morris still with the lead. It is now mathematically impossible for any other driver to lead more laps than Eddie Morris. That's another bonus point secured for him. The caution on lap 110 brought out by the self-spin of Travis Bennett put everybody in the fuel window. Eddie Morris trying that inside line now as well, to see if he can make this work for him. In the wall through 3 and 4. Maintains his pace off the corner. Ryan Gomes not able to make the pass still. Eddie Morris, while he doesn't need to win this race, it would be nice to be locked in on points and not worry about the points. Ryan Gomes, I think he's just trying to take any point he can away from any of the Neon drivers to help his teammate Josh Hall, but also at the same time prove that he deserves to be out here. He did it last night, came home in 3rd place, not a playoff driver, but able to run a great, fantastic race last night. We saw earlier where he just drove away from Travis Bennett and Eddie Morris. It looked like his tires had 0 wear on them. Able to make the pass on the bottom side in those turns. Just drove around them like they were sitting still. It's almost like Devin Buccino was driving the car for him and Ryan Gomes was just on the mic. It was very impressive. Let's see if he does that again this time around. Through 3 and 4, able to maintain the pace coming off the corner. Eddie Morris not able to get that run off the corner like he normally is able to, which gives Ryan Gomes the lead coming through turns 1 and 2. Ryan Gomes to the outside line in front of Eddie Morris. Eddie Morris has a choice. Does he stay here behind Ryan, or does he try to go to the inside line through 3 and 4? Eddie to the inside line around through 3 and 4 here, able to take the lead back from Ryan Gomes. Slides up the track, and we're going to do the same thing over again. Just this time, it's with Eddie Morris and Ryan Gomes, where last night it was Ryan Gomes and Joe Wright, who happens to be sitting in 3rd place right now. Ryan Gomes able to pull out from Eddie Morris. Now Joe Wright looking to get around his teammate as well. Get as many points as he can. He needs it a little bit more than Eddie does at this point to get a little bit further away from Josh Hall. Again, if my math is correct, Joe Wright is 5 points up on Josh Hall without the stage and will secure the 4th place in the Championship 4 race next week in Phoenix. Eddie Morris looks like he struggled there for a lap or two. Joe Wright was able to close that gap. Eddie Morris back to his normal self, running a 33.603. Joe Wright last time by ran a 33.412. Definitely the case has flipped this time. Eddie Morris with the 33.129. Joe Wright with the 33.503, and our leader running a 33.099. You can see there in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, running about 300ths faster than the lead car. Ryan Gomes out to a 0.7 second lead over Eddie Morris. That's coming down to 0.6 seconds now because of that run off the corner, as we've talked about all night. Eddie Morrison currently in 2nd place. Let's take a look at our leader, Ryan Gomes, running some of the fastest laps of the night. Eddie Morris last time by ran a 0.3 slower. This last time by was 1/10 slower. So Ryan Gomes not able to pull out as much of a gap as he'd like. Well, we're still early on in this race, or early on in this stage. We've got 19 laps left to go. Eddie Morris taps the wall coming out of turn 2. Ryan Gomes able to take advantage of that, pulls out to a 0.8 of a second lead over Eddie Morris. I don't think anybody has been able to keep the car as stable as Ryan Gomes has on that inside line through these turns, unlike anybody else out on the track tonight. Ryan Gomes pulling away from Eddie Morris out to a 1 second lead now. Eddie Morris taps the wall coming out of turn 2 again. Let's go on board with Ryan Gomes for a lap around Homestead. He gets that diamond perfect starting at the top of the track, heading down to the middle of the track, in the middle of the corner, right on the apex. This is a oddly shaped track. It's not quite just an oval. It's almost like the turns are wide in the front and the middle, or front and the end of the turn, but gets sharp right in the middle, right where you want to hit the apex. You can see, and then you drift up to the outside wall coming off the corner. Ryan Gomes not quite up to the wall where he wanted to be that time by, but we're now at a 1.6 second lead over Eddie Morris with 17 laps to go. You can hear Ryan Gomes is shifting down into the corners. That takes some of the weight off of the front right tire as you're braking. It does save your front right tire just a little bit more. Let's even go on board with Eddie and see what the difference is here. Eddie stays on that top line, as you can see, does not shift at all. Stays up at the top line, gets a run off the corner. He does come off the corner 3 to 4 miles an hour faster and able to enter the next corner 2 to 3 miles an hour faster than Ryan Gomes. But that outside line does chew up your tires. It looks like a little bit more than the inside line does. Eddie Morris taps the wall through 3 and 4. They're down to a 2 second gap between Eddie Morris and Ryan Gomes. Let's head back to Travis Burton and Dave Wright. This is for 6th position. You can see Travis Burton comes up the track off the corner, able to maintain that pace, gets around Dave Wright the hard way, while Dave Wright's going to the outside line. Travis Burton, another one of those drivers that's able to maintain it stable on that bottom line. Not a lot of drivers feel comfortable doing that. Travis Burton taps the wall coming out of turn 4, but able to successfully take over P6 from Dave Wright. Josh Hall currently in 4th position. He's about 1.2 seconds back on Joe Wright right now, but Ryan Gomes, with 14 laps left to go, is currently leading this race. 13 laps to go. Currently leading this race and pulling away from our 2nd place driver, Eddie Morris, now out to a 2.1 second lead over 2nd place. Josh Hall's closing that gap to Joe Wright in front of him. Josh Hall and Joe Wright both have incident points, so they lose those bonus points here. Neither driver has led a lap, so they won't be getting any bonus points for that unless something happens to both Eddie and Ryan Gomes. Josh Hall now up to down to a 0.8 of a second gap between him and Joe Wright. Now it's 1.1 seconds. Joe Wright's riding that outside line and able to get that run off the corners. So while the gap does get smaller significantly by about 0.2 in the corners, Joe Wright's able to extend that lead again coming off the corners with how fast he's able to maintain pace. Joe Wright is also catching his teammate in Eddie Morris down to a 0.9 of a second gap between 2nd and 3rd place. Joe Wright into the wall through 3 and 4. That's going to allow Josh Hall to gain some momentum and gain some space here on Joe Wright. That gap now cut down to 0.7 of a second. I could be all wrong about the points, folks. I'm just doing some mental math to see what happens, see how it plays out in my head. I still believe that the four advancing, and I could be wrong about this. Don't take my word for it. Devin Butchino's locked into the Championship 4 race. Travis Bennett should be locked in on points. Eddie Morris should be locked in on points, and Joe Wright may be the last driver in. Again, I'm not 100% certain with the way that the points fell for the stage. I don't remember the stage ending. But Joe Wright and Josh Hall closing that gap to Eddie Morris. We're down to less than a second between Joe Wright and Eddie Morris. Josh Hall now down to a 0.4 gap, half a second between him and Joe Wright. So he's closing that gap slowly but surely, looking to take away that third place. It's going to be hard for him to make that pass unless Joe makes a mistake. We've only got 8 laps left to go. 7 this time by when Ryan Gomes passes the start-finish line. Josh Hall able to maintain a stable car on that bottom line. Some of these drivers are good at it, and some of them, unfortunately, are not. There's a lot of drivers that aren't comfortable running that bottom line. But Josh Hall has made up enough of a gap to get the draft on Joe Wright down the front and back stretch. You can see Joe Wright's going to serpentine down the back stretch to kind of lose that draft a little bit. It worked. Josh Hall looked like he got a little bit unstable coming off of turn 4. That gap got a little bit bigger than he probably wanted it to be. But I imagine Joe Wright's going to try to do everything he can to break that draft that Josh Hall's counting on. We've got 6 laps left to go, 5 next time by. Joe Wright still staying up on that wall, not wanting to go to that bottom line. Josh Hall is looking like he's got some serious speed here. Joe Wright's going to serpentine down the backstretch to break that draft from Josh Hall. That outside line is going to be hard to beat unless Joe makes a mistake. Josh Hall's got to play his cards right here. He doesn't, Joe Wright doesn't want him to be able to draft here. We can see that Joe Wright's going to get this run off the corner. Josh Hall's not going to be able to make the pass. Gets a little bit loose coming off of 2's. Got to recollect him to regather the car. Get back behind Joe Wright. Turn 3 and 4 is where we've seen a lot of the passing between the top and bottom line. Joe Wright bounces it off the wall. And again, Josh Hall not able to make the pass. This can go on for laps, folks. Turns 1 and 2. Joe Wright takes it a little bit lower this time by, pinches Josh Hall down the track a little bit. Josh Hall and Joe Wright now bumper to bumper. It's going to be a drag race here off the turn. Looks like Josh Hall's going to secure 3rd place in front of Joe Wright. We've got 3 laps left to go. Our leader is out to a 4.5 second lead over 2nd place, which is Eddie Morris right in front of Josh Hall here. So far, this will be the race for Josh Hall. I believe he started towards the back of the pack, involved in an earlier incident in the race, had to take his fast repair. I'm sorry, he still got his fast repair. It was Ryan Gomes that had to. Ryan Gomes also started further back in the pack, and he's currently leading the race at a 5-second gap. Josh Hall with a 0.7 second gap between him and Eddie Morris, looking to take over 2nd place. He's got to be feeling good tonight about his race performance. Started towards the middle or into the pack here, up to 3rd place. We're going to get 1 to go this time by. We're going to watch our leader here, Ryan Gomes, as he takes the white flag. My little flag thing's not showing the white flag. Come on now. Showed earlier. Ryan Gomes. Is going to take the win here. I don't want to take away from this, but I'm going to go back here to Eddie Morris and Josh Hall. Josh Hall pushing hard into the corner. You can see he pushes up the track. Ryan Gomes is our race winner. Eddie Morris is going to come home in second, taps the wall coming out of 4. Josh Hall gets loose. Josh Hall, 3rd place. Eddie Morris, 2nd place. Joe Wright in 4th place. Travis Burton, 5th place. Carlton Charles, 6th. Dave Wright. Looks like he's into the wall, coming home in 8th place. Carlton Charles, 6th place. Dalton Gibson, 7th. Brad Young, 8th. Ethan Horst, 9th. Charles Balance. Ethan Horst, 10th place. Charles Balance, 11th place. And Travis Bennett will round out the field in 12th place. Hell of a race tonight. Congratulations to Ryan Gomes in winning it. I'm going to be super happy to talk to you up here in Winner's Circle. It's been a while. You definitely deserve this one for sure. It was a great race. You put together a fantastic race. Josh Hall, Eddie Morris, our top 3 drivers right here. We're going to get our interviews here in just a moment. We're going to watch here as we're going to get Eddie Morris and Josh Hall going to pull off here, and Ryan Gomes is going to burn him down. Congratulations again to Ryan Gomes on that victory. Well deserved, sir. Well deserved. Get these cars back in line over here. To Josh Hall, and let's see if anybody's ready for an interview. Not quite. They're coming. They're coming. Josh, this is David. Where's Josh? Hang on. Josh, this is David up in the booth. You got me?
Man, I got you loud and clear.
Man, what a hell of a run for you. You started, what, 7th, 8th place back there? Somewhere.
Yeah.
And then come home in 3rd place.
That was a wild one. I'm still a little bit shaken right now.
Congratulations on the 3rd place. I'm glad to be talking to you tonight. Also, glad to be talking to Ryan up there in 1st place. It's been a while coming for both of you guys. You're coming through this field like your tires weren't worn at all. Both you and Ryan did the same thing. So something you guys figured out. You were the 2 most stable cars running that bottom line. How did you guys do that?
Bottom lane just didn't eat up tires. I mean, it's incredible how much these tires didn't wear on the bottom line. Yeah, you didn't get the drive off, but my front tires were still in the mid 70s there. My back tires were in the mid 70s. So, I mean, even tire wear all across the bottom or all across on that bottom lane really paid dividends. I mean, it really did.
Man, incredible drive from both you and Ryan Gomes tonight. Not sure how the playoff picture is going to unfold from this. We're going to have to look at the points after the race, but you may be right there on the bubble with you and Joe Wright in 3rd and 4th place. If we're locked into Phoenix, what's the plan?
If we're locked into Phoenix, gonna do the same thing. Try to find something, some kind of advantage with tire wear, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of fall off, which there's not, but the tire wear it makes such a big difference. I've noticed the last few races. So being able to manage the tires, being able to be there at the end, and it's been my thing. First stage, can't figure out the car, slip sliding all over the place, figure something out and have a good finish. So that's been my mantra the last 6 races, and that's what I'm going to keep doing moving into Phoenix.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again on 3rd place tonight, Josh. Before I get you out of here, anybody you want to thank out there?
Oh, of course. First and foremost, I got to thank all my teammates. I know Billy Tidoff wasn't here tonight, but want to give him a shout out. Shout out to Cheeseburger as well, who couldn't make it here tonight, but great to see him in the chat, I'm sure. Gomes for running with me tonight. We were cheering each other on all race long. Got to shout out my sponsors here: Trackside Motorsports, Tommy Starbright Colors, Tommy's Tattoo Convention, Pioneer Valley Indoor Karting, the Butt Kicker, Intensity Broadcasting. Without these guys, I wouldn't be able to have fun like I do. And
Absolutely.
of course, you up in the booth, Hartney.
You-
It's always good to hear your voice as well.
It's good to hear you up here, Josh, and look forward to possibly speaking to you next week.
I'm looking forward to it as well. Have
Yes,
a great
sir.
one.
You too. That was our third place driver, Josh Hall. Let's get our second place driver down here, Eddie Morris. Eddie Morris, this is David up in the booth. You got me, bud?
What's up, buddy?
Won the stage. You're probably gonna be locked in on points here. I don't see a mathematical way that you're not. It looked like Ryan and Josh closing that gap there late in the race. That bottom line just didn't eat the tires nearly as much as that top line. But able to secure the second place, locked into Phoenix. How does it feel?
That feels good, man. You just at the end of these things, you just want to be there with a chance at the end, and having a chance at Phoenix is that's all you can really ask for. I shout out to Gomes and Joshy there, bro. I don't know how. I couldn't drive that thing on the bottom line at all. New tires, old tires, it didn't make a dang. I couldn't do it. So shout out to those guys for figuring it out for sure. Yeah, man. Like I said, going into Phoenix with a shot, that's all you can ask for.
Absolutely. You got to be there at the end of the race to even have a shot at Phoenix. Large field starts off this season. We've dwindled down to, the last remaining 12 drivers that show up every week, and we thank everybody for showing up to give us the best race we possibly can. Going into Phoenix, probably with a smaller field, what's the outlook on that?
Man, probably, as well as I do, we can sit here and predict it, and it's going to be wholly, totally opposite of
Absolutely.
what we say. But I don't really want to jinx it, but I feel like, with these field sizes, it'll be a green flag fest there, and not a lot of cautions, and it's gonna be a lot of saving, keeping your stuff good, and being able to attack at the end there.
Yep. Got a lot on the line next week. Congratulations on second place tonight. Fantastic run from you tonight. Looks like you led 76 of the 150 laps, so just over half of the race led by Eddie Morris. Congratulations against second place. Before I get you out of here, sir, anybody you want to thank out there?
For sure, man. Got to give a shout out to Dev Sports Cards. Well, of course, shout out to you. Appreciate you coming up here and broadcasting this stuff. We can go back and watch it. Shout out to Dev Sports Cards, the series sponsor. Christmas is coming up. There's all kinds of stuff coming up. Family get-togethers, Thanksgiving. Go to at eBay and go to at Dev Sports Cards and go check out some of that merchandise he has down there. Give him a day or two, get back to you. I know he's kind of busy right now running from the hurricanes and stuff, so shout out to him with that also. Hopefully he's doing all right. Shout out to Blue Team Alpha for being the series sponsor of the trucks. Appreciate those guys being on board. Shout out to Morris Customs for these awesome paints. If you're looking for anything to get done, go to Facebook at Morris Customs. Shout out to my teammate, man. D Wright had a fast hot rod tonight. Joe Wright had a fast hot rod, man. I feel like the whole team was there. We were just missing Devin, and like I said earlier, man, hopefully he's doing all right.
All right.
Since he can't do it, we're going to give a shout out to Mama Bacino if she's out there watching this. So, Mama Bacino, if you're out there watching this, we love you. Hope you're doing all right.
All right. And that was our second place. Thanks for dropping by tonight, Eddie, and we will hopefully talk to you next week.
I appreciate it, bud.
Yep. And that was our second place driver, Eddie Morris. Let's bring down our winner, Ryan Gomes. It's about time, bud.
If you put it like that. But yeah, no, it feels good. That's for sure.
I don't know how you and Josh did it. And I was listening to the chat during the race because I was also trying to race control at the same time. Travis said it as well as anybody else could have. I don't know how the hell you're doing it, man, but if you can do it, have at it. How were you and Josh able to make that bottom line work? There was a lot of other drivers in practice that couldn't make it work at all on new tires, old tires, any tires. But you and Josh had it figured out. What was the secret?
Committing to what felt like a terrible idea. It felt slow. Before the first stage, I didn't think that was the answer. And then just so when we started running those guys down, I mean, I learned kind of as I went. I mean, I had to slow it down big time. I tried shifting there for a while, no shifting. But I was saying, I think I didn't burn it down there at the end because I wanted to see what I had on the rears, and I had 80% left on the left rear and
That's
83
crazy.
on the right rear. So, it felt like a sprint car tonight where it was getting all of the left rear coming off and just driving.
Well, again, you were able to figure it out. You had a 5.8 second lead there at the end. You just drove through the field once you guys figured it out. So congratulations on doing that. Take notes for next season, because I guarantee you we're coming back here.
Oh man, I told you I love this place. I don't know what it is about this place. I just have always enjoyed running here. I was really nervous in practice. I told Josh, I said, man, I just don't feel good with this right now, but I guess it worked out. Yeah, no, I had flashbacks from last night when I got out in front of Eddie. I went, oh, great. I'm going to have a replay of last night. Somebody pushing me for 20 laps and then passing me at the end. But no, this thing was just on a rail. And yeah, I had to tab down and see how Josh was doing on the relative. And I was keeping an eye on his battle back there and seeing him coming.
Yeah, you guys definitely had it figured out. I think 2 or 3 more laps, he would have had second place. Maybe not even that, maybe another lap or 2, and he would have had it for that second place. We'll have to see how the points fall now with him taking third place over Joe Wright. So we'll have to see how everything kind of unfolds here. But not a playoff driver, but definitely showing that you're supposed to be here for sure in this league. These wins are always hard to come by. But on to Phoenix. What's the plan? Is there a plan? I know Eddie kind of said it too. You can talk about it till you're red in the face, and it's never going to work out that way.
Yeah, you never know, because I didn't plan on going to the back last night with that wreck, or tonight, I guess. No, I just be nice and smooth at Phoenix. I mean, that's just really watch that transition and on the apron there on the front stretch. That's what'll lead a guy up for sure. If you hit that any sort of sideways, just there ain't any saving it at that point. So just being smooth, saving some tire, and just trying to, kind of like Eddie said, being there at the end with the chance, being in with the chance.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan, congratulations again on the win tonight. It's about time. You definitely deserved it. This was the Ryan show the last 30, 40 laps of this race. So congratulations. Before I get you out of here, anybody out there you want to thank?
Yeah, my parents are watching it, so that was kind of cool that they get to see that happen. It's kind of like watching us race the go-karts and the sprint cars all over again, except for it costs them a lot less money. Josh for just bouncing the ideas off of them and keeping each other patient. Again, you guys up in the booth, or you in the booth, and everybody behind the scenes, Eddie, Devin. Hopefully he can race Phoenix. Yeah, that's what I joked, that he was in the 55 car tonight. I was just on the microphone. But no, it's kind of a shame to see we're down to this many drivers, but I mean, everybody kept it clean, and these guys here, we can keep building off of this group here. So
absolutely. Well, again, Ryan, want to congratulate you on your win here tonight, and we look forward to seeing what happens at Phoenix.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. And that was our winner, Ryan Gomes, tonight. What a race. I don't even know how really to describe the end of that year. I mean, Ryan Gomes and Josh Hall on the way through the field, they had it figured out. It was fantastic to watch. So again, congratulations to Ryan Gomes for winning this race tonight. Josh Hall coming in third place. Finishing order, Ryan Gomes, Eddie Morris, Josh Hall, our top 3. Joe Wright, Travis Burton round out our top 5. We're going to go take a look at the points, folks. We'll be back with that next week. Stay tuned. Tuesday next week, 7 or 8:20-ish p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be going live here on the SCSRA Broadcasting YouTube channel for our championship race at Phoenix in the Truck Series. On top of that, we will head to Wednesday night, where our drivers will race for the championship here in the Next Gen series, again at Phoenix. Our last broadcast for the season is going to end up at the All-Star race the following Tuesday night or Wednesday night. Haven't quite heard 100% where that's going to end up or what that race is going to be. But stay tuned for that. We've got a couple more weeks of racing before we take a break and round up for Season 9. We do appreciate everybody coming out tonight and watching, participating in our chat. If you haven't done so already, like and subscribe so that we can keep this going for you. We do appreciate all you. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week.